Guess who's back?
You need help. You need serious.
Silent Hill is back on the menu, boys. It's time to pack your bags and visit your favorite spooky town destination. For those of you who don't know, Silent Hill is one of my favorite gaming franchises of all time. And for a literal decade, the series has been dormant and relegated to being used as themes for pachinko machines over in Japan, and randomly dropping merch about skateboards. I'm not kidding, that's real. And ever since the Kojima-produced Silent Hills was cancelled, fans have spent years following every breadcrumb and rumor, just hoping and begging that Konami will put out a new game. Well, on the 10th anniversary of their last release, Book of Memories, Konami dropped a tweet that got everybody's attention. Silent Hill is coming back. There was a presentation and I want to talk to you guys a little bit about it. Tell you what was revealed and give you my thoughts on it all. I waited a little bit to really gather my thoughts and let the excitement simmer down a bit, but I will say that I'm still really excited overall, because damn, this franchise has been quiet for too damn long. But now, let's get into it.
Crank that, soldier boy.
Let's start with the big one, the Silent Hill 2 remake. I'm nervous, but I'm trying to remain optimistic. Based on what we've seen so far, which appears to be mostly in-game cutscenes and a few snippets of gameplay, it looks really good. It's running on the Unreal Engine 5, and I like the look of it so far. Character models look familiar but slightly different. The voices aren't too bad either. The town and environments look good, so overall, it looks fine. And the original composer and monster designer from the original games are returning, with Akira Yamaoka revamping the soundtrack, so that's gonna be interesting. But what makes me nervous are the developers behind it, Bloober Team. Now, they aren't bad horror game developers. They have their hits and misses. But what I'm nervous about is how they're gonna handle the story and characters. You see, Bloober Team aren't the greatest when it comes to crafting their stories, or expressing or exploring the themes in their games. Look at their last release, The Medium, to see what I mean. So with them tackling Silent Hill 2, I believe there's a chance that they could just ham-fist all the themes and messages from the original, or start pushing and implementing their own themes and messages that weren't there in the original. I'm also nervous that they might play up some scenes for more dramatic effect, and it could come across more as hammy. In the trailer you can see that James is more expressive, and his facial expressions seem more exaggerated, and kinda look funny, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm worried that once impactful scenes could come across as unintentionally funny. Luckily the story is already told for them, so they have a blueprint to follow. All they really have to do is just recreate it. And I don't mind the third person over the shoulder look. The Resident Evil 2 remake showed you that a game that originally had fixed camera angles can be changed and still work. So I'm not too concerned about the shift in perspective. They're of course going to be touching up the combat as well, and I'm okay with that. As long as they don't have QTEs or button combos, I think it'll be alright. I'm going to remain optimistic. Silent Hill 2 is my favorite Silent Hill game, like I'm sure it is for many others, and it's a big task taking on a classic like this. Personally, I think they should have remade Silent Hill 1 first, like as a trial run, and then Silent Hill 2 after. But Silent Hill 2 is the fan favorite, so I'm not surprised they're focusing on that one. Although there is one small thing that's kind of annoying, and it's the fact that it's a timed exclusive for the PS5. Man, I thought we were done with that timed exclusive shit. So it'll be dropping on PS5 first, and then a year later on other platforms. Although it's also dropping on PC the same day as PS5, so I'll be picking it up on Steam. As far as I know, this is the only one that's timed exclusive, but we'll see what happens in the future. So that's the big topic of discussion from the presentation, and it's the one we've seen the most for, and heard the most about. So let's talk briefly about the other projects that were announced, but there isn't much information on them.
My heart, I loved her. Wah.
Silent Hill F is the next game that really intrigues me the most. It takes place in the 1960s in Japan, so I'm curious how exactly it's going to tie into Silent Hill as we know it. And even though this is a full CG trailer and not actual gameplay, I'm really digging the artistry and look and aesthetic. It's different from previous Silent Hill games, so it already has my attention. And I'm really curious exactly what this game is going to be. I know it's a brand new standalone title, so that already is a huge plus. Sadly, there's not that much info on this one, although they did draw attention to the people behind the game, but I'm not going to pretend like I know who they are. But regardless, I'm still very much intrigued by this one. Next is Silent Hill Townfall. Again, not much on this one, just a very vague and weird trailer with a creepy conversation happening. The developers behind this one, No Code, have made some pretty interesting games, so I'm curious exactly what this one's gonna be like gameplay wise. But for now, we got nothing else. Next are a few things that I'm not that excited for, but I'm gonna mention them anyway. Silent Hill Ascension. Several studios are working on this one, but the one worth noting is Dead by Daylight developers. Behavior. This is gonna be some sort of like live interactive game, and Behavior specialized in a multiplayer horror game. So I'm curious exactly what this game is gonna be, and what they're going to do with Silent Hill. They didn't really show much besides some screenshot and messages, and we see a glimpse of a monster at the end. The developers did mention that they were very inspired by Twitch streamers playing horror games and how they interact with their audience. So my guess is this is going to be like a choose your own adventure community game where the viewers get to interact with the game in real time and all watch and make decisions together. That's just my guess. Not gonna lie, not super excited for this one, but I'm gonna check it out regardless. And it appears there's a new Silent Hill movie in the works.
When will you learn?
Don't remember anyone actually wanting this, because the last one wasn't that good at all. But they got Christoph Gans back, the director of the first one, and though as an adaptation that film really wasn't good, it was a pretty decent horror flick with some really good special effects, sets, music, and monster designs. This time they're going to be adapting the second game into a movie, but I still don't have high hopes for it. I mean, it's probably going to end up being a pretty good looking movie with some pretty good music because they're more likely going to use the music from the game. But I'm really not excited for this one. Although something worth noting is that a producer at Konami said that this film was really the catalyst for bringing back Silent Hill. If I had to guess, it's probably because the 2006 movie was actually really successful and it did introduce a lot of new people into the franchise. And since it's been so long, my guess is they're hoping that this film will reintroduce Silent Hill to a new audience, or at least help bring attention to it again. Either way, I'm not really too stoked for this one, but we'll see what happens. Could be a surprise hit. I think that about covers everything. Oh wait, how could I forget? Silent Hill skateboards. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Let's go. Yeah, I don't really care. They revealed a bunch of like merch and statues, but I don't care about it honestly. I might get a shirt or something, but I'm not interested in this stuff. So that was the presentation, but let me talk about a few things that I was actually hoping to see but was disappointed when they weren't announced. Number one was re-releasing the originals on PC on Steam. They haven't put them on Steam or anything except for Silent Hill 4 on GOG 2 years ago. Yeah, so if you want the PC version of these games, you just can't pop over to Steam or any other store really and just buy it and download it, except for Silent Hill 4 on GOG, which has issues at first, but they since fixed it. So it's very possible to take these, 20-year-old games and optimize them for modern hardware. They've done it before. I just think re-releasing them on Steam would just be very convenient and easy for people. The second thing I was hoping for were some new ports of the 4 original games to modern consoles, properly this time, preferably by Bluepoint, who are experts in porting and remaking games. With the Silent Hill 2 remake happening, it really wouldn't be a bad idea to port the original and let a new audience experience it before they try the remake out, as well as just making it easier for people to go back and play the original games. Yes, I know you can just emulate it, hell that's what I do, but there's a lot of people who just don't like doing it, or they're stuck on consoles so there's no way they can do it. I was really hoping to see these two things announced, but sadly they weren't, but who knows, maybe there's a chance in the future. Overall, I'm excited, and I appreciate the fact that Konami is working with studios that actually put out previous games and aren't just brand new studios with no experience at all, which was their business model for the franchise for almost a decade after the original team disbanded. So I have faith that these games will at least be decent or good, considering the studios behind them. Silent Hill is a big name with a big legacy, with a very unique type of horror, and I don't think any other game has been able to really match the original 4, or to be able to successfully replicate it. So we'll see how these new Silent Hill games fare. No release dates, but if I had to guess, the Silent Hill 2 remake will definitely drop first, probably next year, then Silent Hill Ascension later on the same year, then Silent Hill F in 2024, and Silent Hill Townfall possibly in 2024 as well. There's also a few more games that have been rumored, like a demo called Short Message, I believe. Supposedly that's actually supposed to drop before any of the other games, but I haven't heard a word about it since the leaked images, so we'll see what happens. I'm praying that there's a big turnaround like Capcom did with Resident Evil. So they showed people that it's possible to take a franchise that's on the decline and completely turn it around. They definitely announced a lot of stuff here, and it does have some people worried, thinking that they're going to oversaturate it, but I feel like a lot of this stuff is going to be a ways off, and I feel like they revealed this much to show people, yeah, Silent Hill is back and we were actively working on different projects, and that they're also working with different studios, ones who have actual experience. As of right now, I'm going to remain optimistic because I'm still very much excited, and here's hoping that these games are really good when they release. But that's going to do it for the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, go and drop a like on it, and leave a comment, let me know, what do you think about Silent Hill coming back? What are your comments, hopes, and concerns? Leave a comment, let me know. And of course, we'll give a nice big shout out to the channel members. In my restless dreams, I see these guys. If you're interested in becoming a channel member, click the join button down below to check out the perks. If they interest you, consider joining, or not, it don't matter.
None of this matters.
I heard you watched JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I mean, what's really bizarre is the fact you get no bitches. I mean, I hear you love anime girls, but you can't talk to women.